Hi, I'm Tracy Lauderette, call sign Jackie O, Colorado's First Lady fighter pilot. We're here at Wings Over the Rockies Air and Space Museum in Denver, Colorado. We're getting an inside look at the Hurricane Hunters.
Hurricanes cause the most damage, cost the most money.
Trees coming down, you might have roofs ripped off of homes.
Hurricane Helene came through, and when I came home, my house on the lake was in the lake.
The mission of hurricane hunting is to protect those folks that are in harm's way.
Improved forecast has directly resulted in reduced loss of life.
Nobody's flying into hurricanes for fun.
We're essentially bringing the lab to the storm.
Whenever you're in the storm, being on a wooden roller coaster in a car wash, you can't see and you're getting bumped around everywhere.
Oh! Beautiful, terrifying, humbling, sad. It's like all the human emotions kind of wrapped into one.
You got to understand the storm environment before being able to actually fly into them. So the research part is extremely important.
It's time to go behind the wings. Hurricanes are among the most destructive natural disasters on the planet. With winds that can exceed 150 miles per hour, hurricanes flatten neighborhoods, topple trees and power poles, and trigger flooding, potentially injuring and killing victims in their path. There's a group of aviators who risk their lives flying into hurricanes, extracting data from the eye of the storm to make it safer for those on the ground. Hurricane hunters fly not for the thrill, but for the science, but they still appreciate the thrill.
I think I'm at around 330 to 360 penetrations.
Mac McAllister is responsible for the installation and mission readiness of the science systems on board.
A Cat 5 is a monster. We're pointing this direction, but we're flying this direction because such strong winds are coming from the side. Some really wicked flights. And knowing that the information that we're collecting is saving lives, giving people early warning to get out. To see the storms that close, it's beautiful and terrifying. At the same time, you know the imminent danger that's coming to people, their homes, their lives, the things that people have worked for.
Mac has the unique experience of flying into the hurricane's fury in the air and dealing with its destruction on the ground.
I'd lived there for quite a few years. It was a nice place on a lake here in town. Hurricane Helene came through, and when I came home, my house on the lake was in the lake. It's humbling to see the storms that close. I sent an SOS out, and about 60 of the 90 plus people that work here all showed up in mass, moved my stuff out of my house. To be a hurricane hunter and then to go through that, I know why it's important that we go do this work.
We're in Lakeland, Florida at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Aircraft Operations Center, where science and danger meet head-on in the heart of hurricane season. Nikki Hathaway makes sure the Hurricane Hunters team is always ready for the next storm. Why on earth would you want to fly into a hurricane anyway?
The concept of flying to a hurricane might be a little crazy, but we're really doing it for the protection of life and property. And the purpose behind where this crazy idea came from was the feeling of being behind the curve and getting hit with these storms. People wanted more warning. They wanted more direction and lead time to get ahead of the storms. What are we missing? What are we not collecting that could give us that forecast in a much smaller window than, hey, overnight you better be prepared and it's supposed to be windy in the morning like we had a couple decades ago.
It began with a dare and a storm. In 1943, as a powerful hurricane approached the Texas coast, Army Air Force's pilot Joe Duckworth climbed into a T-6 Texan training aircraft and flew straight into the eye. It was the first time anyone had intentionally flown into a hurricane. That single flight marked the birth of what we now call the Hurricane Hunters. At first, these flights were experimental, but by the 1950s, they became an essential part of the U.S. weather surveillance system. Today, two organizations carry that mission forward: the U.S. Air Force Reserve and NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
The mission of hurricane hunting is to protect those folks that are in harm's way. These large weather phenomena that come and bring lots of rain, flooding, storm surge, obviously the winds. So growing up in Tampa, this was something that I was always intrigued by, is these big weather phenomena that would come on and cause no school days back when I was, in elementary school. Why can't I go to school? Because you have a hurricane coming and you had to take cover and be prepared with your families. These storms can develop very quickly. We've seen them obviously spin up a lot faster, and we need a way to track them and monitor them. There's really just no way of getting that data in the storm environment across the Atlantic Ocean without putting aircraft in them.
NOAA's aircraft of choice is the WP-3D Orion, a modified Navy patrol plane built for science and survival. NOAA flies dozens of missions each hurricane season across the Atlantic, from the Gulf of Mexico to the Caribbean Sea and around the world.
Here at the NOAA Aircraft Operations Center, we have two different types of aircraft that fly the Hurricane Hunter missions. The one behind us is the WP-3D. We have two of these. This one is N-42, or Kermit. The other one is N-43, Miss Piggy. And then our high-flying G4 jet is Gonzo. So they're all named after the Muppets. Both aircraft have different purposes and objectives in terms of what type of data they're collecting within the hurricane environment.